Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to the Head Show. A stories written by a current prisoner. This is your favorite journalist, Tony, giving you an inside dive inside the minds of California's incarcerated. You know, before we dive into today's segment, I just want to take up a minute every time and talk about something real quick. Empathy. Empathy is a word someone such as myself, a reporter, a journalist, whatever you want to call them, should not have in his vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? You can't think about the other side, the victim side, the families, because then it'll eat you up. You know what I'm saying? It will take a toll on you mentally. When I first started, you know, I used to be affected, but I used to trip out on that. I never expressed myself publicly, but deep in my thoughts, I would feel some type of way, because these individuals have taken people's lives, and here I am giving this individual a voice. And this person was no longer here with us. So, of course, I did feel some type of way. However, like I said, through the years, I have become desensitized, learned to push that stuff away. You look at the Jeffrey Dahmers, the Netflixes, and all these super series, I'm pretty sure that's what they do too. So, here we go moving forward. I came across this case right here. And let me tell you, man, for some apparent reason, I did feel empathy. I do feel for this individual. For some apparent reason, I was feeling sorry for him, man. I was getting deep in my thoughts yesterday. And it was like, damn, man. I can only imagine what this person must feel like when he comes across this interview. And if he happens to listen to it himself. What his family members might feel like. What those next following weeks and months of him being paralyzed were like for him. Having to face this new reality. Was his friends there for him? What is life like now? You know, there's just so many questions that I have, man. But for some apparent reason, like I said, man, I usually don't even think about this. But for some apparent reason, I feel sorry for this individual, man. So if you're out there listening to me, man, I would really like to have you on my show. I would really like this opportunity, man. But if not, God bless you, and I had to do what I got to do because this is my job. So we're going to go ahead and take 3 steps forward before we take 1 step back. Let's go ahead and do what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for stopping by. This is your favorite journalist, Tony. Please hit that like button on your way out. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, man. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. Let's go.
So what do they call you?
Let's just go, let's just say Pinto Viejo, you know? Let's say Pinto Viejo. We're going to use that name, right? Because it doesn't even matter what they used to call me, you know?
What are you incarcerated for? How long is your sentence?
I've been down almost 20 years, you know? Around there, give or take. It's less than that, but you know, it's about. And you're asking for what?
Yes, sir. What are you incarcerated for, and where are you from out here on the streets?
I'm from the downtown USD area where I grew up. I grew up in the neighborhood with Harpy's gang. You know, the Harpy's gang. That's it. I grew up right there. To be exact, I went to the school right there on the Vermont and Adams. And those were from that area. No, it's like a little Catholic school right there, you know. And not far from there is Sports Arena, USC. That area right there. That's where I grew up at.
You know, I want to thank you so much, sir, for taking the time out of your day. You know, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day and expressing this story. You know, of course, behind the scenes, there has always been interactions with Southern California rappers and incidents that just occur within the Southern California area. So this story in particular is very interesting and very unique, sir. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and take over the floor, and please go ahead and express yourself. Go ahead and take your time. The floor is all yours, sir. Go ahead and do what you're going to do, sir.
Okay. Well, okay, look, like I was telling you, you know, I grew up in the Harpy's neighborhood, right? You know, the Harpy's is a big gang, you know, it's a Latino gang, you know, they're black, and you know, count them in one hand, you know? And that area is real big, real popular as well. I got a big portion of the area, and you know, I grew up. I'm like from the era of the '90s and you know, the early 2000s. You know, from that area, and those who know been in the streets at that time, it was gang banging. You know, and I mean, it sounds kind of dumb now, but like back then it was fun. You know, like it seemed fun, and but Yeah, so, okay, anyways,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
the story I'm going to be talking about, and the reason I'm telling you about the Harpies gang is because I'm going to be talking about interaction that happened between the Harpies gang and, it has, okay, his name is Duke, right? And he's from Cypress Hill. I'll get back to that in a minute, but they have affiliation to the Burlington locals. When it all comes down to it, Harpies gang and Burlington locals don't get along. And at that time, there's a lot of violence going on, and anyway, this confrontation happened at the Tommy's restaurant, right? But before I talk about all that, let me give you a little background, hold on. Let me take a drink of water. Okay, so let me give you a little background, right? I'm gonna talk a little bit about tagging crews, and I'm gonna break it down a little bit, right? So tagging crews, normally there's always taggers in the neighborhood, and the way that they allow to stay in the neighborhood is, just they know somebody or something, and as long as they ain't doing nothing crazy like any crazy violence or attention to, the neighborhood for the most part, let them be, and they let them be because most of the time, sooner or later they get jumped into the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So, UFO was a well-known tagging crew at that time. I don't know if they even exist anymore, but at that time they were real popular, right? And okay, so Burlington locals, the area, this is Toberman Park. We're talking around the Toberman Park area. That's the Burlington locals. Okay, so the UFO tagging crew was in the Burlington locals, So in the streets at that time, I remember growing up, and I would hear it all the time that Cypress Hill and the cycle around, they're around, we would always hear hey, we just seen them vatos passing by or whatever, and it was a rumor that they were from Burlington, but that was something that couldn't be confirmed, right? But what was confirmed was that they had affiliation to the UFO tagging crew, right? And it was confirmed that about 95% UFOs, Burlington locals. So okay, so you get what I'm trying to say right here. If you're from UFO, pretty much you're from Burlington. It's like it was like that. But it was something that was never able to be confirmed. As far as as a matter of fact, when it happened, he didn't even no gang was even said. That's so to this day, I can't sit here and tell you that for sure he was from Burlington locals. But that was the rumor at that time, right? So okay, so UFO, they were around, right? The Cypress Hill cycle around, they had affiliation to UFO. And the UFOs had affiliation to Burlington, right? So Toberman Park, everybody used to go play football back then, the 90s, and obviously they don't get along, right? So always violence, and shootings, all that, right? So I'm gonna be talking about Harpies now. Okay, the person involved that I'm gonna be talking about, I'm not gonna use his real name, but those who know about this and heard about this, if you know, you know. I'm gonna be talking about Tommy Trouble, right? Trouble before he was a full-fledged gang member, he used to be from ATC. ATC was a tagging crew as well at that time. Right now, they're a full-fledged neighborhood, right? But at that time, they were a tagging crew, and they were mostly black. A lot of people don't know that.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
At least half of them or more were Crips. And ATC, they were pretty big, bro. anyways, most of them got into 30s in Harlem, right? The ones that didn't get in were a lot of home, Southern Hispanic that decided to stay ATC, but they started pushing a 13 and they earned their neighborhood status, So ATC is right next to Harpies. Harpies and ATC do not get along. A lot of history between them, right? So Trouble, he was from ATC when they were taggers, not a neighborhood, right? So when he got into Harpies, he would see the homies, and the homies there was whisper that fool, That fool used to be a flea, or that's how you disrespect ATC. I don't mean no disrespect to him or anything like that, but that's, give you an example. They didn't really like him. I'm gonna keep it, They a lot of people didn't like him, right? So Trouble, I like Trouble, but I feel like he wasn't treated fairly, just for the simple fact that his background, Okay, so anyways, the shooting I'm gonna be talking about, I'm trying to piece it all together before I actually start talking about the shooting, because I wanted to explain how it all breaks down in the affiliations, right? So I explain what affiliation is Cypress Hill and Sacramento had with this incident itself and why it happened, right? So their affiliation was to the Italian crew UFO, and UFO affiliation to the Bernstein locals, right? Okay, Trouble, Harpies, right? Trouble, right? It was early '99, right? It was the first 3 months. It was early '99. During '99, those who remember, all kind of crazy stuff was happening. But anyways, I don't want to drift off the subject here. So Trouble was partying, right? He was with a homie, and he had some females with him, right? And they're out shooting. Excuse my language. They're out partying, right? And Trouble, he drives to the Tommies, and Tommy's is the first Tommy's is the most popular one, right? And I don't know exactly. I already forgot. If it's either in Rampart and Beverly or Rampart and Alvarado. It's two of those three streets, right? So it's been so long, I don't even know, but I still remember the setup and everything. They got the old school, the sodas, they have them in this big refrigerator where you pay, you could get your food and you can eat outside, right? It's open 24/7, right? So Trouble was a very popular spot at that time. I believe it still is. And Trouble, he wanted to eat, right? So he goes to Tommy's, and so there's always a lot of people there. You can go right now, and a minimum of 10 people will be there, Tommy's was a very popular spot. Okay, so he was some females, right? And Trouble doesn't know. Okay, that was the guys from Cypress Hill and Sacramento. They were there already, right? They had an entourage. Trouble doesn't know it's them. Like I said, it was a rumor in the street that that's where they were from, but it was never an actual running, It might have been a running with them and their friends and the homies and their friends. You can say some type of running, but it was never an actual, hey, I beat up who from Cypress, nothing like that, right? But so little did he know that they were there. He really didn't even know, and this is how it is crazy because this is how it started, right? There was a guy there. They were paying or whatever, and
you have 60 seconds remaining.
I left off in the I left off with the homie Trouble, right? Trouble, like I was saying, he was Jewish, Before I got cut off, I I didn't read all this before, but I don't know what the Jewish, the religious, the hat. Like I wasn't trying to. So anyways, I seen him in prison recently, right? And he was wearing that. So that's the actual name is Yamika. Trouble was a pretty boy, and like I said, he used to be from ATC, the tagging crew. So a lot of homies didn't like him, right? So Trouble is right there. Like I was saying, he's a pretty with colored eyes, everything, right? Light skinned, and he got some, he got some badass high with him, right? He had a couple, and he was with another homie, and anyways, so they're doing their thing, right? And somebody like has nothing to do with nothing. He's not from Cypress Hills, cycle around. He has nothing to do with nothing, right? Like he's trying to holler at the hyena that Trouble's with, right? And come on, man, like that's something you just don't do. That's very disrespectful. You see her do, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's out of pocket. And actual natural reaction to that is you're gonna start tripping, and Trouble was, full-fledged Harvey gang member at that time, and obviously, he's strapped, and he ain't tripping. So if somebody's getting at his hyena, he's trying to look good in front of the hyena, so he goes up to this dude and starts tripping. Matter of fact, he just stalks him, right? And Tommy's stuff is always happening there, and since it's open 24/7, there's security guards. They have bouncers, so security, it's always packed. Like those, if you're from that area, there's certain joints that you just like. I don't know if you heard like Pinkies. I remember Pinkies because it was a very popular hot dog stand. So this is a burger stand. It's very popular. So obviously it's open 24/7 in LA. You need security guards. So the bouncers will see all this happening, this commotion, and they start tripping on the homie Trouble. Because he's the aggressor, obviously, right? So dude's trying to holler at his hyena, and all of a sudden Trouble starts taking off on him, and the dude wants no problems, right? So it's too late for all that. Like, you didn't want no problems. You should not even done that while the homie was there. So anyways, this is where it takes a turn, right? Trouble didn't even know that them guys from Cypress Hill or Psycho Realm were there, There's a lot of people there. They're there with their entourage. They had like bodyguards and stuff. So here comes Duke, right? And I was trying to remember if he was by himself or whatnot, right? But I don't know what his trip was, or I don't know why he even did it, right? He starts tripping. Okay, so the bouncers they kick the homie out, right? Hey, you gotta leave our property, right? Someone's trying to go nowhere, like he's trying to, he smells blood, and at that time he's trying to represent, but he doesn't say where he's from, nothing. Like I said, he's a pop on a boy, right? Nobody knows nothing about Harvey. Nobody knows nothing, right? So anyways, bouncer, you gotta go. He started tripping on him, kicked him out. The Trouble doesn't go far, The Trouble goes across the street, and Trouble's tripping, and he got a baby with him, and he want to look good, He's trying to impress her. So he's kicked out, right? He's looking good in front of his hyena. Any dude, I think any guy at that point would do what he did for his hyena, because if another dude gets at the girl you have around your arm in front of you, everybody, 9 out of 10 times, I guarantee it, at least will say something, at least. So in this case, Trouble just started firing, right? On top, and hey, old boy was like, "What'd I do?" Like he threw his hands up like he didn't know what he did, and all of a sudden he wants no problems, right? So Trouble doesn't look good on him because he's looking very aggressive, right? And when a little, even if it's a little incident like that, to other people that are not affiliated or stuff like that, something big, they're scared, bro. They're scared for their life, type of thing, and to all that we have it like this, nothing, it's just a fight, right? So he's firing on this dude, and so the bouncers come. They find a way to stop him, right? Again, they get over there. Trouble was skinny. You know, he's still skinny to this day. Buck 50, probably buck 70 at the most, right? Tall, he's about like 5'10", 5'5", maybe 5'11", you know. But buck 75 soaking wet, right? So he's not a big dude and lanky arms. So he's firing on this dude. Bouncers don't, you know, they don't have a hard time getting him off old boy, but they have a hard time stopping him, right? Okay, this is where it takes a turn. You know how I said that Duke was right there, but nobody knew that Duke was actually right there. So he has an entourage with him, bodyguards, right? So while this is happening and they see this, you know, sometimes you just gotta mind your own business, you know, because even though you try to do a good thing, you never know, right? Especially in LA and especially in the middle of the night, right? So they go, they try to get involved. You know, his entourage tries to get involved. You know, this is my homie. You know, he's mad. You know, he's mad. Like, you're just disrespecting him. That's all disrespect right there. So, they tell him he gotta leave. You know, Trouble he didn't even eat. You know, he's mad. He wants to eat, and he feels like he didn't do nothing wrong. So, he's mad. You know, they kick him out. He's across the street, like, you know, like, I'm not going nowhere. You know, and trying to stand his ground. You know, and at that time, not the bouncers, but the other dude comes up to him, right? A few words were said, whatever, and he's already mad, bro. So Trouble starts tripping, you know? Trouble starts tripping. He's in the ride, whatever. Hey, matter of fact, who are you? You know, and okay, so that's where Duke comes in. Duke sees his partner, which is a bodyguard, whatever you want to call him, his boy, whatever. He was with Duke that day, right? That night. So he sees that, and here's a mistake of his life. He goes and he gets involved, right? Now, this is, okay, he's talking to him. Matter of fact, he's probably like, who are you guys? Excuse me, my bad, you know, but, you know, he's wondering, like, who are these people, like, excuse me, my bad, it's just, my bad, I gotta stop. Anyways, Trouble's mad, bro. Let's just say he's mad, right? And, the dude actually hits him up, right? What? This is Heartbeat Gang, right? And the dude says UFO. That was, at that point, nobody had ever, like I said earlier, there was no actual confrontation where they heard it with their own ears, you know? And he brings up UFO. Trouble got kicked out of the premises, right? Tommy's has you can park in it, like, it's like a shopping center, right? I'm trying to remember, I think it's in the corner, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it has, you can park right there and you're on their grounds, right? So if you get kicked out, you can't be on the grounds, right? So obviously the car ain't far from him. He got the strap. Nothing crazy, you know, nothing big, you know, but a gun is a gun and a bullet will hurt anybody, you know? It doesn't matter how big or how small, a bullet will bring you down, you know? So anyways, let me take a drink of water. Hold on. So this is where it gets real. Duke claims UFO. Trouble hears that. UFO. When you hear UFO, you don't hear UFO. You hear Burlington locals, you know? And Burlington locals, you know, they were going at it with them, you know, but it's harder, like, how can I say it? When there's a small gang, it's hard to find them, you know? It's like, Heartbeat is a big neighborhood, so you can go at any time and find anybody walking down the street, you know? So it ain't, if you want to get somebody from Heartbeat, all you got to do is drive to the neighborhood and you'll catch somebody, you know? It's not that hard. So, on the contrary, with Burlington, I mean, I don't have no allegiance to either one at this moment, so, I'm not, like, pumping.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I side more with the other or nothing. I'm just keeping it real, you know? Burlington has never been big. You know, I haven't been out there in almost 2 decades, so I don't even think they exist right now, bro, to keep it real. So that should say, like, they probably, I don't know, you know, because I don't want to say something I don't know, but they never been big, you know? And so you can imagine, right? it's hard to find one of them dudes. So Trouble hears that. Matter of fact, he doesn't even say nothing. He just turns around, gets the gun, blah, 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 you know? Potazos, you know? As soon as people start hearing gunshots, you know, that's going to go live. Everybody's running everywhere. Nobody has cameras. You know, it's not like how it is nowadays. You know, nowadays you hear one bullet, and everybody's pointing with their cell phones, you know, everything. There is no cameras, no, 1999 we're talking about, right? Probably beepers. So, I don't know. I don't know if there were cell phones around like that, but I know for sure no cameras, right? So, everybody scatters at the Tommies, right? This happened across. Okay, so, everybody scatters, and, Trouble knows he got live, right? He's with Highness. Highness, baby, what are you doing? You know, and, now he's stressed out. He gets in the car and takes off, right? He doesn't know what happened. He knows he hit him, but he doesn't know the severity, you know, of the wound. He doesn't even know how many times he hit him. All he knows is that he got one of the dudes from Burlington. As a matter of fact, I got that fool from Cycle Round, you know? So, he's happy. You know, at that time, he was proud of that moment because it's like brownie points, you know? It was like brownie points to him now, you know? And, so, he shot him, right? And, takes off. He ended up getting pulled over. He got away, bro. He got away, but, two bald-headed vatos and some high-nose speeding at, it was like midnight, 1 in the morning. You're gonna get caught, bro. Any Uda that sees bald-headed dudes, you're gonna get pulled over. Matter of fact, I remember when you had to wear a hat if you were bald, you know? So, he got pulled over, whatever, they connected whatever, and, okay, so, he gets busted, right? Trouble gets busted for this, off the top, the media goes crazy, you know, and, the homies, everybody knows already. Hey, did you hear what Trouble did? Sorry about that, excuse my language. But, rumor circulated that night. He got one of them dudes from Cycle Round. It is the same thing to me. His name was Duke. So anyways, Fox 11 News, you know, a Harpies gang member, at the time, Trouble told him where he was from. Well, he heard he was playing the Harpies gang, right? So, the media was all over it, bro. The media was all over it, and, I don't even know if that's how he got caught or whatnot, but he got caught, like, right there, you know? Not right there, but, like, ASAP. So anyways, he gets caught, right? And, I don't know how big this group is, right? At that time, I think they sang, I don't even know if this is then the, Insane in the Membrane. I think that was their song back then, you know? But, is it? Yeah, Insane in the Membrane. But that was their song, you know? And, I just knew I didn't like that song because it was sang by them. And, I don't even, anyways, so trip out on this. Trouble gets busted, right? You know, everybody's, all of a sudden, giving him props, right? Giving Trouble props. And, again, he's from ATC. Everybody, you know how when I told you he used to be from ATC, when he used to come around, it's like if you were smoking, pump up patches circulating, and when it gets in trouble, hey, dog, pass it to the homie, you know, like, they treat him like that, bad like that. Okay, so anyways, all of a sudden, he's a star, right? It was so the homie Trouble, you heard what he did? Well, anyways, he's fighting the case in the county, right? He gets busted, we end up finding out exactly who it is, it's Duke. It was on the news right there, and then, matter of fact, they even came out with an album, and, everybody knows his name, you know, it's the homie Trouble, you know, but, say his name on blast, they put him on blast,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Duke is paralyzed. He got paralyzed. Duke no longer could walk, he's in a wheelchair. I think to this day, I don't even know his status right now. I never really, like, tripped out or looked into it, but, I didn't know nothing about it, nothing at that time, because, Trouble ended up getting green-lighted, right? When I say green-lighted, I mean in the prison politics. When you're green-lighted, you can't walk the regular GP line, right? For whatever reason, normally, you get green-lighted for, you know, like doing a drive-by, doing something you're not supposed to do. Even though it's gangbanging got rules, right? So anyways, he gets green lighted. They move on him, right? And trouble don't know why. But all of a sudden, you know how I told everybody he was a star, right? All of a sudden, nobody knows nothing, right? And he's calling the homies. Hey, what's up? Hey, help me out. He was, hey, everybody turned their back on trouble. Nobody wanted to do nothing but trouble. I ran into him in prison, right? And after all those years, I never knew what happened to him. I never knew nothing, the reason, nothing, right? And I don't think a lot of people know this, right? But and at that time, I didn't even know that they were that big, right? I guess, you know, being that big, you got some type of money and income, right? Singing songs. So they pay some type of big amount of money to some type of organization, right? And when I say organization, that means, you know, they got power, you know, so it's an organization. And you get, you know, money over everything. It doesn't matter who you are, right? So, all of a sudden, he used to be the way you see him disposable, right? It doesn't matter what he did. They got paid some ridiculous amount of thousands of dollars. So, forget trouble. Who cares, right? They got the money. Trouble gets green lighted, goes to prison, gets life, bro. He got life, right? I seen him on his, like, 15 year, I don't know, it's been a while, but recent enough, right? And, you know, I'm saying this story because, I talked to him, right? As a matter of fact, I threw up an H at him, right? And, he looked at it like mad, like anger, you know, and I go, what's up, bro? I go, you remember me? And he's not like, it's not bad. Like, he starts telling me everything, right? And, he tells me that, he goes, hey, my boy, he goes, I'm kind of like butter, bro. He goes, what's up, the homies? He goes, hey, they took the money and they just forgot about me and greenlighted me, bro. I didn't even do nothing wrong. He goes, I was just putting it down for the neighborhood. He goes, it wasn't worth it. You know, he got disposed, like, treated his back like nothing, but like.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'm saying this because, are there any kids out there, like, listening to this? Like, that was one of his proudest things that he did in his life, right? And he fast 4 years later, he's a grown man now, and he's disgusted by it because he can't believe that what he believed in and everything that he thought he was doing right, how they did him, right? I don't even want to say the amount of fate that was rumored to be taken by them. Well, you know the worst part? I'm going to call back right now. I'm going to leave you guys on the hang on that one. I'll call back right now, all right?
Por favor, call me back.
Okay, so, I try to do it like a novela, right? Like, you know, leave a little bit on the hang, right? But, okay, so, I left off where, they paid off Feria, right? I talked to him myself, right? So I know pretty much this is over a time gap of over a decade, right? So all this information didn't obviously come out right away, and it probably would never have, you know, only the people that ran into him know, right? Because other than that, nobody forget trouble, you know? When they hear trouble, it's like he's a disgrace, you know, and they don't even know why. You know, they don't know why. They don't like trouble, you know. They just know that it's trouble. They're not supposed to like them, right? But a real story is, homie, that I feel like you know, like they did them kind of wrong, you know. Like anybody who does something and then like they give you props for it or whatever, and you do it for what you believe in, and then they turn their back on you, like over money, like just because the vatos or the victims or whatever, they have money, they were famous or whatever. They were able to pay to get that dude off of the general population, you know? So that's what happened. And if you guys knew the amount of money that was in play, you guys would trip out. Let's just leave it at that, right? So anyways, he's mad. You know, trouble for some type of way, right? And so I see him, I talk to him, right? What's up? What happened? And he was, just when I thought it was bad, I feel bad for him. Like I kind of, and they did you like that? Like he gets worried. He goes, hey, trip out on this, my boy. He goes, I don't know how they were able to take the money and you know, do that to me. He goes, and allow them to come testify. He goes, no, fool, they came to court. He goes, my boy. He goes, I got lies. He goes, you know, so like his proudest moment ended up being his worst moment, you know, and there's a lot to learn from here, you know, there's tragedy on both sides, you get what I'm saying, but for the homie Trouble, you know, he was doing all that, like, it ended up, okay, so they paid money, they testified, he was getting hit left, right, you know, and he got life, bro. He's, till this day, he's doing time, you know, and I feel like, you know, nobody talks about Trouble anymore, you know, and the moral right here, the whole thing is like, he regrets it, bro, and he wishes like it never happened, you know, and he called me straight up, like, I wish I never would have done that. He was, I did that for the belief I had at that time, and now that I'm grown up, I realize it for what it is, you know. So kids, if you're out there, off top, gangbanging is just plain, you know, like something we shouldn't do. You'll end up dead or in prison, and chances are you end up in prison, you'll realize that your homies seen your homies, you know, and that's that. So that's the story about this group. Before I leave off, I just want to I say Psycho Ram and Cypress Hill because I just knew, like, I don't even know what they looked like, you know. I just knew that they were from UFO and Burlington. So there was a connection. I think Cypress Hill started Psycho Ram. So I don't know. I think one of them dudes. I don't know how it went, but that's why I say like this. I just wanted to clarify before leaving out. And yeah, you know, that was it. So on that note, I'm ending it right here. And thank everybody for listening. I hope you guys learned something out of it. And it's my first time doing this, so excuse me if I got nervous. I'm not used to doing all this, you know. So I apologize ahead of time. With that said, you guys have a pleasant night. Thank you.